thecasesolutions.com. Hey guys, this case is about Goodbye, Sampson Incorporated, Case Solution and Analysis, Alternative Courses of Action with Consequences. David Dunworthy should consider the following courses of action with appropriate consequences. Suggest that Dunworthy allow Sampson Incorporated to go, but I believe that practically, Dunworthy is forced to advise the city to do everything possible to retain Sampson Corporation. Consequences. Point number 1. Sampson's escape will lead to a loss of thousands of dollars, as stated in the case, from wages and income taxes. Loss of projected $300,000 in municipal wages tax contributions and $92,000 in head tax contributions. Point number 2. Sampson's departure from the city will have a detrimental impact on the business sector. Annual reduction of retail market in the core business area of about $1.1 million. Point number 3. Other companies may argue that if the local government is unable to retain its second largest employer, what assistance could they expect from other companies? Suggested the idea that the state should establish a plan to retain Sampson in the city, taking into account the available funds and the federal government's involvement. Consequence. Point number 1. Since Sampson Corporation has a significant effect on the metropolis economic system, the financial impact should be addressed as well. Point number 2. Intended to facilitate Sampson Incorporated, federal funds should be given to the metropolis municipal government. Point number 3. It will cost $32 million extra for Sampson Incorporated to construct its headquarters outside of downtown. Propose that the city create a plan to provide tax relief to retain Sampson in the metropolitan area. Consequence. Point number 1. Metropolis's tax revenue will get affected. Point number 2. In the long term, the money they spent on Sampson Incorporated will be repaid to them in the form of Sampson's taxes. Point number 3. Additionally, the neighborhood should be engaged. Point number 4. With regards to tax breaks, the city government should consider the concerns of other companies. Conclusions. Point number 1. The city's main economic issue was that Sampson Corporation, the city's second largest employer, desired to relocate to the suburban areas due to the state's individual income tax framework. Point number 2. Sampson Corporation, which originated as a divested subsidiary of the well-known and massive Clemson Chemical Company, had existed in the shadow of the large corporation for its entire existence. Point number 3. Retaining Metropolis' second biggest employer and remaining as self-sufficient as possible benefited the state. Because Sampson Incorporated contributed approximately $100 million annually to city. Point number 4. If the government reduces the tax rates, this will affect the tax budget. Additionally, since 1950, no new non-manufacturing companies had been formed, and the city's 12 largest non-manufacturing firms had grown at an extremely insignificant rate during that period. Point number 5. If the government decides to retain Sampson Corporation, this will affect neighborhoods. If the city administration decides not to retain Sampson Incorporated, this will have an impact on 10 households that would need to relocate if the headquarters were constructed on the vocational school area, and the administration should compensate neighborhoods. Point number 6. Suggest that Dunworthy allow Sampson Corporation to go, but I believe that thoughtfully, Dunworthy has no option but to advise that the city do everything possible to keep Sampson Incorporated. Because of the loss of city wages taxes projected at $300,000 and head taxes approximately at $92,000, damage of retail trade in the central business district totaling approximately $1.1 million annually. Point number 7. Propose that the city create a plan to retain Sampson in the city, including tax concessions, since the city's revenue would be impacted. In the long term, the money they spent will be repaid, and the neighborhood should be engaged as well. Point number 8. Suggest that the city create a plan to retain Sampson in terms of development expenses, since Sampson Incorporated would spend $32 million more if they construct their headquarters in the city rather than downtown. Recommendations. Suggested the idea that the state should establish a plan to retain Sampson in the city, taking into account the available funds and the federal government's involvement. Point number 1. Informed the city administration Mayor William Williams, of the proposal, on an individual basis. Stay informed about elected authorities. Point number 2. Before the local government implements, it should engage with the neighborhood and other business leaders. By doing so, each party will have an opportunity to voice their concerns for the two sides to reach an agreement. Point number 3. The municipal administration should consider the neighborhood in every choice it makes during the development phase. Point number 4. Because the city government's budget is only $30 million, the city government cannot provide financial assistance to Sampson Inc. on its own. This is why the local government is in discussions with the federal government about providing federal grants to the Metropolitan City Administration, which will then facilitate Sampson Corporation. Point number 5. If the federal government invests money, it will be repaid via the Sampson Corp taxes. Point number 6. Organize presentations for the media on the strategy. Point number 7. Communicate the plan's objectives, execution timeline, and impact on affected parties. Point number 8. Provide benefits to stakeholders, such as families and corporations. This is just a sample partial case solution. Please place the order on the website to order your own originally done case solution. Thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. If you want any case study, visit our website thecasesolutions.com.